This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free.
So Wolves have just beaten Everton 3-1 at Goodison Park. And I think the first thing I want to talk about is the manager, because I know everyone's going to have to say it's probably split more in the out camp at the moment. He hasn't got a clue, he's a fraud, whatever. Or, you got the other half saying, he needs time, these aren't his signings and stuff like that. And I know a lot of emotion can come out of games like this when it's just happened, everyone's filled with a lot of anger. So I'm going to try and keep a cool head about it and give an objective opinion. People have got a point when they say, it's not his squad. So I completely understand that. But your job as a manager of any club is to motivate the players you have. Doesn't matter if you've signed all of them or if you haven't signed any of them. That is your number one job. And, we've seen examples of managers doing that. You look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. None of them are his players. He's inherited the squad from Jose Mourinho, who everyone was saying was just completely bang average, which, to be fair, they were. And then he's gone and won 8 games on the bounce. Now, alright, I'm not saying it's just going to be easy to do that if you're Everton. You just bring in one of the ex-players to be into the manager, and then we're going to go brilliant. I'm not saying that, obviously, but it shows that a manager can still get the best out of their players when they're not their players. And I think the squad we have right now, it's got talent in it. There's no denying that. We've seen evidence that this squad is very talented. The problem is, they don't seem motivated whatsoever. And we can talk about the system that he's playing. I don't think it's the right system at the moment. I think Sigurdsson in number 10 has been completely ineffective. I know he scored a few goals here and there, but the past few performances, the past few months, he's just been nowhere to be seen. Even when he scored, he still hasn't made that big of an impact in the game. And we saw it against Huddersfield. When he was put deeper, he made more of an impact. He was getting involved more in the game, and I think that's the type of player he is. I think for a number 10, you have to be really mobile to cover all that ground, and I think if he's got someone alongside him, then he's going to do a lot better. So yeah, I agree that I think the system needs changing. But even when players are playing to a system that maybe isn't the greatest, they've still got to show some sign of quality. You can't blame the system for this poor marking. You can't blame the system for, players playing wayward passes. That's on them, absolutely. And it just doesn't seem, at the minute, like any of them give a rat's ass. You know what I mean? So you've got to think, is that down to the manager? Is that down to the players? Silva definitely deserves some criticism over the last few months. That's not me saying, just get rid, because the thing is, who are we going to attract? Be honest. Who is a proven winner is going to want to come to us? Hardly anyone, to be honest. You look at all the players we've got on the wage bill. Morgan Schneiderlin and Sandro on 120 grand a week. And you're thinking, I've got to deal with that. No chance, I'm not going there. That's an absolute joke. So obviously Everton have to take these gambles on these sorts of managers who could become the next Mauricio Pochettino, who still hasn't won any trophy in his career, but is still considered a top manager because he is. So it's obviously difficult for Everton. It's easy enough to say we need to go and get a proven winner or whoever. It's just not that easy, because no proven winner wants to come to us. That's just a fact. So, like I said, with the manager, deserves criticism. Am I saying he should go? Look, I'm just going to stand by whatever decision the club makes, honestly, because I don't think waving him out all the way is going to do much. And like people say, these aren't his signings, yeah. He does need more time to bring in his own players, but I think he really does need to change the system. Absolutely needs to change. Best part of the match, probably the cat little cameo that come on for was it 3-4 minutes. I thought that made really intelligent runs in around the box. Slipping away from the stewards really quickly like the Thierry Henry. Brilliant performance from the cat. Thought it was fantastic. So that was definitely a positive out of the game. But the rest, it's just absolutely shocking. Leighton Baines, you could tell he wasn't at it just from the get-go. Because even if Leighton hasn't got the legs anymore, he's an intelligent player. And for him to do something so stupid, and give away that penalty, you could tell he wasn't at it, and I can understand not wanting to put John Joe in there. It's not his natural position, and he doesn't have the sort of brains that Baines does yet. But if he's not fit, you just can't play him. It's as simple as that, because he just looked dreadful. Man, once again, I don't even think that was necessarily his fault, because he clearly wasn't ready. So then they go 1-0 up off the penalty. Andre Gomez scored a great goal, and the reason it was satisfying is because we just had a shot. And I've said to someone in front of me in the crowd, I said, if that was 3 games ago, he probably would have tried to turn on it, or, pass it, or do bloody, probably pass it back to the goalie or something like that. But it's like, he's just had a shot, and it's gone in. And the keeper probably, in my opinion, probably should have done better. But that just shows you, the keeper's not always going to get to those type of shots. They might go in. In this case, it did. And I was, made up at the time. And that's the problem with Everton at the minute. They're just not having enough shots on goal. Everything is sideways, or I've got to get the opportune moment if I want to shoot. I can't just take a risk. But once again, that Gomez shot was a bit of a risk. It looked like the defender was going to get to it, or it wasn't even an amazing shot because the keeper could have got it. But it's gone in. It's a goal. So why we don't do more of that, I have no idea. I remember when John Joe Kenny had a shot in the second half and it went really wide, and the people were like, "Oh, fucking, what are you doing?" and all that. But I'm like, it's better than passing it back to Michael Keane, really, isn't it? So 1-1, and we started to have a bit of fight in the game now. I was like, yes, we've got some belief, haven't we? And then I think when the Baines sub happened, we just seemed to reset again. Like, there wasn't any intensity again. We were, running in behind the channels. We were getting stuck in, and then once that substitution happened dead early, that just sort of stopped and allowed them to get back in the game. Once again, another set piece. Another one. It's a free header. No one's on him. It's ridiculous at this point, If a team does, one of the greatest moves you've ever seen against you, they pull off a Cristiano Ronaldo against Juventus, you're like, hold my hands up to you. That was, not much you can do about that. But these are just simple set pieces that just aren't getting dealt with. No one's on the man. No one is just getting it clear as soon as they can. And it's basic stuff. This is easy to learn. Everyone has said it's Sunday League football stuff. Defending set pieces. And yeah, these professionals on, 50 grand a week or something like that can't do the basics. And you can say as well, if we haven't been training, doing it. First of all, that needs to be done. You need to work on your set pieces. But even if you haven't, if you've got a leader in that team, they will know what to do on those set pieces. They won't even need training for it. You look at them over the park, Liverpool. They've got that Virgil van Dijk. I don't imagine Liverpool do a lot of defensive training. I think they're a very attacking team. They're going to focus on that. But Virgil van Dijk is just a leader. He knows what to do in defence, and he doesn't need to be told. We don't have anything like that at the minute. I think, despite sort of him being, not as good as he was, I'd probably even rather have Jagielka in there at the minute, because even if, he's not as quick as he was, and to be fair, he has done a lot of fucking stupid things, like in terms of mistakes, he's a leader who will tell you what to do. I think we said last season the only times Michael Keane was having a good performance was when he was next to Jagielka, because Jags was telling him what to do. He was a proper leader, and that was what Ashley Williams was meant to be, who's just not, and didn't do anything with Keane. He didn't tell him what to do. He was looking out for himself. So we've got no leaders at the back, and I don't expect Seamus to be, because Seamus is definitely more of an attacking player. Well, at least he used to be anyway. Maybe Leighton I'd expect, but I think we need a proper centre back who knows what he's doing, is a proper leader. Because I think the defenders we have at the minute are good. I think Yerry Mina, alright, made a few mistakes. I think he's a good player. Kurt Zuma, I think he's a good player, although he's a little bit inconsistent sometimes. Michael Keane has been a lot better this season than he was last year. I don't care what you say, even with the the recent results. Michael Keane has been a lot better, and I even thought he was alright today, apart from those set pieces and all the stuff like that. But you need someone alongside those players who have got that ability to be telling them what to do, to get them organised, to turn them into leaders. And we just don't have that at the minute whatsoever. So that clearly needs to get sorted. And you know what? There's just no fight in the team at the minute. Just none whatsoever. You know, I've seen some bang average Everton sides over the years. I haven't seen like the really bad eras, like the Mike Walker eras, or the the last season under Kendall where we just stayed up. You know, it's never been that bad for me as an Evertonian. I'm only 21, but I've still seen some pretty bang average sides with some pretty woeful players. You know, we've had to bring in the likes of Dennis Strachwell or whoever. I mean, that's the level we were bloody at the time. But those players all put a graft in. You could never not accuse them of that. Even if, once again, someone like Phil Neville, it was a pretty bang average player for me. And I think he's a bit of a tit now as well for how he's treated the club. But, he's someone who just work hard, he'd get everyone going, he'd tell them what to do. We just don't have that in the team at the minute. Because I think this team has talent. I do. People can go on about the shite, they're not good enough. I think they're good players. Are they the finished article? Absolutely not. But if you get someone in there who's going to go screaming at them, like, what are you doing? You're not working hard enough, you're not chasing that down. Someone just to be there, because obviously the manager's on the sideline, he can't be shouting at everyone all the time. If you've got a proper leader on the pitch who is going to shout at his own players and say, what are you doing, lad? You got to be faster than this or whatever, but no one wants to talk to each other about that. No one wants to up the intensity by having a go at people. No one wants to do that. So we don't have any of those players in at the minute. Someone like a Phil Neville who's going to do that. So clearly we lack a lot of leadership. We lack basic defending lessons, clearly. And we've got no rhythm going forward. Cenk Tosun, I think he's a good striker. I'll just say that outwards, and you can hold me to that. I think he's a good striker. But you could put Cristiano Ronaldo up front for that team, and he's not going to do anything because he is getting no service whatsoever. It feels like him and Sigurdsson are about 10 foot away all the time from all the rest of the players on the pitch. Sigurdsson's always sitting in that pocket where he's just always marked and never gets to actually do anything because he's constantly facing his back to goal. Then you've got Tosun up there on his own who, fair play to him, he tries to get involved in the play, tries to make a few things happen. I know he's not the best on the ball and dribbling and all that, but he's trying to get involved. And nothing was made for him today. No good crosses come in, no really good through balls, killer passes. There's nothing there for him. Name me a striker in that team that would make a difference, because I can't think of one. Gonzalo Higuain, like I said, Ronaldo, I can't think who'd actually make a difference up front, because no one is getting service at all. You can see Cenk is trying, he's trying to link up with the players, he's trying to get involved in the play, and maybe that's another problem as well, because we're so poor in midfield. Cenk feels he has to come back, so he's not going to get in those positions. So it's just a constant cycle, isn't it? Anyway, I can't think of much more to say, but there's obviously going to be a lot of talking points. Definitely looking forward to the final word, lads. And hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully you'll follow me on Twitter. Don't mind that little plug there, do you? Yeah, anyway, I'll see you later.